Cole wiped the sweat from his forehead, smearing a bit of grease across his temple without noticing. The air inside Maintenance Bay 6 was warm and filled with the low hum of machines. He had spent most of his shift repairing one of the old communication panels near the abandoned diplomatic chamber. It had been unused for years, ever since human interaction with the royal houses of the outer galaxies had slowed down. Cole wasn't important. He wasn't a commander, pilot, or diplomat, just an engineer on a quiet orbital research station circling a peaceful blue planet. He liked it that way. No politics, no problems. Just wires, circuits, and peace. But peace was not meant to last. A sudden message echoed across the station system. Incoming vessel. Priority code Royal Access. Prepare for docking. Cole looked up, confused. Royal? That hadn't happened in decades. Before he could even ask someone, the announcement repeated again. The ship was requesting emergency fuel and temporary shelter for one of the royal family members of the Zalari Empire. The Zalari were famous across the galaxy, not just for their advanced technology, but also for their strict traditions and proud royal bloodlines. Cole had never seen one up close. No one on the station had. Within the hour, the sleek silver-blue ship arrived, gliding into Docking Bay 1 like a smooth predator. Crew members gathered at the edges, curious and nervous. From inside the ship, several guards stepped out, tall and sharp in their silver armor. Then she appeared. She was tall, with pale blue-purple skin that shimmered like moonlight, and her eyes were deep violet, glowing softly like distant stars. Her long silver-white hair was braided with small crystals that clicked gently with every step. She walked with the calm, confidence of someone who had known power her whole life. This was Princess Kalira, third heir to the Zalari Empire. Cole stayed at the back of the crowd, trying to stay invisible. He wasn't part of the welcome team. He was just an engineer. But luck or fate had other plans. The station's lead officer greeted her and explained their fuel systems. There was a delay. They needed at least 48 hours to process the special type of fuel her ship required. Kalira accepted this calmly. "Then I shall remain here for the time being," she said in a soft but commanding voice. They offered her the guest chamber, but she shook her head. "I would like to explore this station," she said, "and I want a human to guide me." Murmurs followed. A royal request like that wasn't usual. She looked around, her gaze moving across the faces of officers, guards, and workers, until it stopped on Cole. "You," she said, pointing. Cole blinked. "Me?" She nodded. "You are not pretending to impress me, that's honest. I want honesty." Cole had no idea what was happening. But within minutes he was standing beside the alien princess, trying to look like he knew what he was doing. As they walked through the station corridors, Kalira asked many questions. "Why is this area so old and dusty?" "That's the diplomatic wing," Cole answered. "Nobody uses it anymore. The galaxy's been quiet." "Do humans not value old things?" she asked. Cole laughed. "We do, but sometimes we forget about them when newer stuff shows up." She tilted her head thoughtfully. "That happens in my world too." They reached the observation deck. Earth could be seen below, spinning gently with its blue oceans and white clouds. Kalira stood there silently, staring at the planet for a long moment. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "So alive. My home is colder, full of mountains and floating cities, but not like this." Cole looked at her sideways. "Don't you get to see beauty all the time? You're a princess." She smiled faintly, eyes still on Earth. "I see what others show me. Controlled gardens, planned tours, hand-picked suitors with perfect words, but never something real." Cole didn't know how to respond. He scratched the back of his neck, feeling awkward. "Well, I'm not good with perfect words." "Good," she said, looking at him directly now. "I don't want perfect. I want real." They spent the rest of the afternoon together. He showed her the maintenance tunnels, the hydroponics bay, even the old break room where some of the crew still played outdated video games. Kalira watched with wonder. Every small human detail, an engineer fixing a broken panel, a cook preparing lunch, two scientists laughing over a cup of tea seemed to fascinate her. At one point, she tried earth coffee. She made a face. It's bitter, Cole chuckled. That's why we drink it. Keeps us awake during long shifts. Your kind chooses bitterness to survive? She said with a soft laugh. Interesting. By evening, they were back at the observation deck. The stars had come out in full shine. Kalira sat down on the metal bench, her long cloak folding around her like silk. Cole remained standing, feeling unsure. I should probably let you rest. I wish I could marry someone like you, human, she said suddenly, her voice quiet but firm. The words hit Cole like a burst of static. What? Kalira didn't smile. She was serious. You're not afraid of who I am. You didn't try to flatter me. You showed me truth, not ceremony. That's rare. Even back home. Cole stammered, unsure what to say. I'm just me. I fix stuff. And that's exactly what I like, she replied. There was a silence between them. Not awkward, not heavy, just real. Then, as if nothing had happened, she stood up gracefully. Thank you, Cole. I will rest now, but tomorrow I want to see more. Cole watched her leave, heart racing and mind spinning. A royal alien princess had just said she wished she could marry someone like him. And somehow it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like the beginning of something unexpected. The next day began quietly. Cole didn't expect to see her again so soon. He had convinced himself that yesterday was a strange accident, a once-in-a-lifetime moment. She was royalty. He was just an engineer. That kind of thing didn't happen. Twice. But at exactly 0800 hours, the station's main door opened, and there she was. Princess Kalira. Wearing a dark blue travel coat, her hair now braided into a simpler style. No guards, no grand entrance. Just her. Good morning, Cole, she said softly. Are you free today? Cole blinked. I guess I am now. She smiled. Good. I want to learn more. They walked again, this time deeper into the ship's lower levels, where the real work happened. Cole showed her the recycling tanks, the water purifiers, and the oxygen stabilizers. To her surprise, none of it was run by smart machines. Much of it needed human hands and minds. Your species trusts itself more than its tools, she noted. Sometimes, Cole replied. Sometimes we don't, but we try to stay involved. That's how we learn. Kalira nodded. On my world, most daily things are automated. Even the weather is controlled. Sounds easy, Cole said. It sounds empty sometimes, she replied quietly. Later they reached the small communal library. It wasn't big, just shelves filled with old books and digital readers. Kalira walked slowly between the rows, running her fingers across the spines. What are these? She asked. Stories, Cole answered. Some real, some made up. All important. She picked up a dusty paperback. The Stars Between Us. She read aloud. Is this about war? No, Cole said. It's about love. Kalira turned, the book over in her hands, fascinated. Do many humans believe in love? We do, he replied. It's hard sometimes, but we keep believing. She looked at him. Even if you're not allowed to choose who you love? Cole's face turned serious. We fight for that choice. Sometimes people even leave their whole world just to follow their heart. Kalira held the book tightly, her voice soft. Then maybe humans are stronger than they look. As the afternoon passed, Kalira asked more personal questions. Why did you become an engineer? Cole thought for a moment. Because I like fixing things. Machines, systems, sometimes even people. She smiled. Do you think I'm broken? No, Cole said quickly. You're just stuck in a place that doesn't see you clearly. Kalira looked away, hiding a flicker of emotion. Back on her world, she was surrounded by rules. Her path was chosen before she was born. Even her future husband had been selected by the Empire, someone from a powerful bloodline, someone cold and distant. She had no say. But here, with this human, she felt something different, something honest. That evening, Kalira insisted on eating with the crew. It caused a stir. Royals never dined with ordinary workers. But she sat beside Cole at the long metal table, eating plain earth food, vegetable stew, and bread. She struggled with the spoon, clearly not used to human utensils, but laughed at herself and kept trying. Cole helped her hold it right, and she gave him a grateful nod. People whispered, watched, and even smiled. No one had expected a royal guest to be so normal. Kalira looked around. This is peaceful. Cole grinned. It's not fancy, but it's home. She leaned closer. Sometimes I think I would trade my crown for this kind of peace. Careful, Cole said jokingly. Someone might take that seriously. I hope someone does, she whispered. After dinner, they sat once again at the observation deck. Stars stretched across the dark sky like frozen sparks. Earth glowed gently below. Kalira removed a small pendant from around her neck. It was shaped like a teardrop carved from violet crystal. This is called Mirthal, she explained. It is given only to those we trust with our true thoughts. She held it out. I want you to keep it. Cole hesitated. I can't take that. You're royalty. And yet I trust you more than anyone in my court, she replied. Please. He took it slowly, turning it in his fingers. It was warm, real, like her. Kalira stood. Tomorrow, my people arrive to take me home. They will not be happy about any of this. You mean spending time with me? Cole asked. She nodded. They will remind me of my duty, my arranged future, my place as a tool, not a person. And what do you want? He asked. She looked into his eyes. To be free, to feel what I feel now, to choose. Cole's heart raced. I wish I could help. You already have, she said softly. You showed me a different world. With that, she walked away. Her steps slow, her expression unreadable. Cole stood alone, still, holding the Mirthal. He didn't understand everything, but he knew one thing. He didn't want this to end. The next day arrived too quickly for Cole. He didn't sleep well. All night he kept thinking about Kalira, her words, her smile, and the Mirthal crystal she gave him. It still rested in his hand when he woke up. But something felt wrong. A red alert blinked on the station screens. Unknown vessel approaching, fast, multiple life signs, heavy shielding, confirmed. Zalari Royal Escort. Cole's stomach dropped. They were here. Her people had come to take her back. He rushed to the command bay where the officers were already preparing for a formal greeting. The station commander looked tense. This wasn't a friendly visit. It was official, and likely aggressive. Get. The human who was assigned to the princess, one Zalari officer said, stepping off their ship in polished armor. We have questions. Cole stepped forward slowly. That's me. The officer's glowing eyes narrowed. You spent private time with her. She asked me to show her around. She is royalty, the officer snapped. You are not. I know that. I treated her with respect. Just then, Kalira appeared at the top of the corridor. She was no longer in her traveler's coat. She wore the formal robes of her rank, silver silk lined with deep violet threads, her hair now braided high in the royal style. She looked like a stranger, but her eyes met Cole's, and something silent passed between them. The officer turned. Princess Kalira, you are ordered to return to the Empire. You have caused disturbance, risked dishonor. I have done nothing dishonorable, she said calmly. I walked this station, I spoke to its people. I did what any true leader should do, learn with open eyes. The officer frowned. You spent too much time with that human. Rumors are already spreading. Kalira didn't blink. Let them spread. I spoke truth. The officer stepped closer to her, voice firm. We are leaving now. You will return to your duties. Kalira turned once more to Cole. Thank you for showing me the heart of your people. Cole started but stopped himself. What could he say in front of her guards? He took a breath and pulled something from his pocket. The Mirthal. Gently placed it in her hand. You should take this back. Kalira looked down at it, eyes filled with emotion. No, keep it. Then, just as quickly as she came into his life, she was gone, surrounded by guards, escorted back to her ship. Hours passed. The station returned to quiet, but Cole felt none of it. He sat alone in the maintenance wing, staring at the bench where they had watched the stars just the night before. Everything felt too quiet, like something had been taken from the air itself. He thought of her laugh, her questions, the way she looked at Earth like it was magic. Now she was gone. Back to a palace. Back to a future she didn't want. That night, a surprise transmission came through the private station comms. It was encrypted, hidden, meant only for him. Cole hesitated, then tapped the screen. Kalira's face appeared, calm, beautiful but serious. If you are seeing this, then I have already boarded the royal vessel. I am not allowed to speak to you again. They will erase this message once I reach the Empire. Her eyes softened. I meant every word I said. You showed me a world where people are free to choose, where hearts guide paths, not duty. She paused. You gave me hope, Cole, and that is more than anyone else has given me in years. She looked away for a second, then back. I don't know what will happen, but if I ever escape this life, I will find you. The message ended. Cole stared at the black screen, heart beating hard. 2 days later, the station commander called him to his office. I've received a request from the Zalari Empire, he said. They want to know if you had any inappropriate relationship with their princess. Cole frowned. No, I only showed her the station. She asked me to. The commander nodded slowly. I believe you, but they're threatening to cut off our diplomatic channels unless we formally report you for misconduct. Cole's hands tightened at his sides. So I'm a problem now? The commander sighed. You're a good worker, Cole. This station can't afford to lose connections with the Empire. Cole knew what that meant. He nodded once. Then transfer me. The commander looked surprised. You'd leave? If I stay, the station gets punished. If I go, maybe they calm down. Where will you go? Anywhere quiet. I don't care. The commander nodded again, this time with respect. I'll approve it. The next day, Cole boarded a transport ship headed to a distant mining colony on the edge of the human territories. It was far, cold, lonely, but he didn't care, because he still had the Mirthal. She had told him to keep it, and even if she never returned, it meant something, a promise, and in his heart, he knew one thing clearly. This wasn't the end of their story. Not yet. The mining colony was nothing like the orbital station Cole had left behind. The air was thinner, colder, and the stars seemed sharper against the black sky. The colony itself was a small cluster of metal buildings scattered around a rocky crater, surrounded by endless silent hills. Cole stepped off the transport with only a small bag and the Mirthal crystal tucked safely inside his jacket. The people here were different. Hard-working miners, engineers, and scientists who lived away from the crowds and noise of the central worlds. Cole liked it. It was simple. It was quiet. But even here, news traveled fast. One evening, as Cole was finishing a long day repairing equipment, a message arrived on the colony's secure network. It was from a distant source, encrypted and carefully hidden. It was a warning. The Zalari Empire had refused to accept Kalira's refusal to marry. They were searching for her, using every resource. The royal court wanted her returned immediately, no matter what it took. Cole's heart sank. He sat in his small room staring at the Mirthal. It glowed faintly under the dim light. Suddenly, the door hissed open. To his shock, Kalira stepped inside. She looked tired but determined. No royal robes, no guards. Just her. Kalira, Cole said, rising quickly. How did you? Escaped, she said simply. It wasn't easy, but I couldn't stay, not like that. She sat down, exhaustion heavy in her eyes. They will come after me. Soon. Cole nodded. Then we need a plan. The next days were filled with quiet meetings and careful planning. Kalira told him about the Empire's rules, about how the princesses were expected to marry for alliance, not love, about the pressure to obey and sacrifice personal dreams. I thought being royal meant freedom, she said, voice breaking slightly. It means responsibility, Cole replied, but not without choice. They worked together, using the colony's hidden communication systems to reach out to allies and prepare a safe path away from the Empire's reach. One night, after a long day, Kalira sat outside the small building, watching the stars. Cole joined her, handing her a cup of warm tea. You still believe in love? She asked quietly. Cole smiled. I do. Even when it's hard. She looked at him, her violet eyes shining. If I could marry someone like you, she whispered again, maybe then I would be free. Cole reached out, taking her hand gently. Maybe you don't have to wait for them to choose. Maybe you can choose yourself. She squeezed his hand. Together? Together. But freedom came with danger. The Empire sent patrol ships searching the outer systems. Kalira's escape was no secret. One morning, alarms blared across the colony. Zalari vessels approaching fast, the colony commander shouted. Cole grabbed Kalira's arm. We have to move, now. They raced to a hidden hangar where a small ship waited. It wasn't royal or fancy, but it could fly fast and stay hidden. As they took off, Cole looked back at the colony shrinking below. Where will we go? Kalira's eyes were fixed on the stars. Anywhere. Everywhere. As long as we're free, the chase began. For days they jumped through asteroid belts, dark nebulae, and abandoned space stations. They lived in shadows, avoiding sensors and patrols. Kalira learned how to pilot the ship. Cole showed her how to fix engines and manage systems. They were no longer princess and engineer. They were partners, survivors. One quiet moment, as they floated in a silent field of stars, Kalira turned to Cole. Do you ever fear we won't find a place for us? Cole took her hand again. I don't. Because wherever you are, that is where home is. She smiled softly. Maybe one day the stars will stop chasing us. Maybe, he agreed. As they flew toward unknown horizons, the galaxy watched quietly. A human and an alien princess, choosing love and freedom over duty and fear. Their story was far from over. The small ship drifted gently through the quiet darkness of space. Cole and Kalira sat side by side in the cockpit, their hands still joined, fingers laced tightly together. The stars outside shone calmly, endless and distant, but inside the ship was warm and full of hope. They had left behind worlds that tried to decide their fate for them. Now in this tiny craft they were free to write their own story. Days turned into weeks as they explored forgotten systems and quiet moons. They learned from each other, sharing stories and dreams. Kalira told Cole about her childhood, growing up in the grand halls of the Zalari Palace. She spoke of the strict lessons, the endless ceremonies, and the cold loneliness hidden beneath the silver silk. Cole shared tales of Earth, of small towns, crowded cities, and the messy, beautiful life of humans who fought every day for their freedom. They laughed at their differences and found comfort in their shared desire for something more than what their worlds had offered. One evening, while resting on a quiet moon bathed in soft starlight, Kalira stood and looked at the sky. I never thought I would see stars like this, she said softly. Not from a cage, but from open space. Cole smiled, wrapping his arm around her. Those stars are for everyone, he said. No one can own them. She turned to him, eyes bright. Do you think the Empire will give up looking for me? Maybe not, but they don't decide your heart. Kalira nodded, a peaceful smile spreading on her lips. Maybe the stars don't decide hearts after all. Life on the ship was simple. They cooked meals together, fixed the engines side by side, and planned for a future that felt real and full of possibilities. Kalyra learned to pilot the ship with skill, and Cole grew confident in the ways of the stars beyond Earth. They built a small home in the endless void, a sanctuary where they could be themselves without fear. One day, as they passed a small, lush planet with green forests and blue oceans, Kalyra stopped the ship in orbit. "I want to go down," she said, "to feel the ground beneath my feet." Cole nodded, pleased. They landed in a quiet valley surrounded by tall trees and soft grass. The air smelled fresh and warm. Kalyra took off her boots and let her feet touch the earth. "It's so different," she whispered. "I feel alive." Cole smiled, watching her. "This place could be our home," he said. She looked at him with gratitude. "Thank you, Cole, for showing me a new life, for teaching me that love is not a chain, but a choice." As the sun set, casting golden light over the valley, they sat together and looked toward the stars. No more cages, no more demands. Just two souls, free and united. Kalyra rested her head on Cole's shoulder. "I wish I could marry someone like you," she said softly again. Cole chuckled. "You don't have to wish anymore." She smiled, her eyes shining like the stars above. "Then, let's make our own promise." They held hands, sealing a bond not made by law or duty, but by love and choice. News of the runaway princess and her human companion slowly spread through the galaxy. Some called them fools, others heroes. But no matter what, their story inspired many. For the first time, a royal had chosen freedom and love over tradition and control. A human had shown the galaxy that courage was not just about strength, it was about the heart. And so far from the prying eyes of empires and courts, Cole and Kalyra lived simply and happily. They were no longer a princess and an engineer, but two people who had found each other among the stars. Their journey was only beginning. But one thing was certain. Wherever they went, whatever challenges they faced, they would face it together. Because the stars did not decide hearts, only love did.